What is your true self? Do you have more than one identity, self, or just one? Hi, I'm Angel. Thanks for stopping by. It's a little bit bumpy in the smart car here. I'm on the long drive up to Colorado, and as usual, reflecting on my lessons for the week. And one of the things that's been coming up a lot lately is that idea of identity. Authenticity is a word I love, and to me it's about that true self, that real core part of you that is there amidst all the other hats that we put on, right? So I was listening to Impact Theory, one of my favorite podcasts recently, and the guest was talking about how we have different identities. Like, you're not the same person at work as you are with your family, or you're not the same person, with your kids as you are with the people you coach, which I found interesting in twofold interesting. One, I agree, like, we put on different hats. I'm not necessarily the same person, for example, or I'm not presenting the same aspects of myself when I'm playing and singing on stage as I am when I'm in bed with my lover, for example. Different aspects, but however, to me, I'm still very much the same core self. And in fact, the more I work on my own authenticity and alignment, the more I feel like, whatever hat that I'm putting on, literally, I love to wear different hats, but they don't change really who I fundamentally am at my core. They do change people's perception of me, and I guess that's, the identity part that this guest was talking about, which is, he was talking about the difference between dealing with, like, coming home to be dad to his kids versus being the coach for the people that hire him, where he needs to be hard on them a little bit at times, like challenge and push them. And I guess that depends partly on what your job is. Still, I'm interested in knowing what your opinion is on that, because I think just in listening to various people talk about it, I think we don't all, like, I know people who've been diagnosed as schizophrenic because they can't separate themselves from those voices in their head. And then I know people who are, like, I have voices in my head that I'm quite comfortable with and that I'm not confused at all. Like, I still know who I am, even as I explore different, like, characters, some of which are mine and some of which are other people's. But certainly those voices can all be in my head and coexist and rarely cause me any problems. Sometimes they keep me up at night and I have to be like, shh. But anyway, I'm interested to know where you stand on that, or how you feel about that. Are you one core self, one identity, and then you have maybe different state changes, or are the different selves that you embody, or the different states that you're in, actually different selves? And for that matter, like, our cells are changing. That's cells, E-L-L, not selves with a L-V-E, or L-F, self. Anyway, cells are changing throughout our life, so that every 7 years, your body is an entirely different set of cells than it was 7 years ago. Of course, they're not all a direct turnover, but just in general, none of them last longer than 7 years, to my knowledge. Now, of course, I just read that somewhere. I haven't counted them or kept track myself, but that's my general understanding, and I'm sure it's at least close to true, which is that you are largely, if not entirely, a totally different person now than you were 7 or 10 years ago. And yet there is something of yourself, your core being, that is the same, right? I know I can look at pictures of myself when I was 4 years old and see something in my smile and in my eyes that is the same now that it was back then, and that fascinates me, especially in the context of this turnover of cells and of experience and growth and state changes, where really you're not the same person one breath to the next, right? So I'm interested to know your thoughts. Please do share in the thoughts and comments section, and as always, if you want to support me or contact me, there's lots of ways you can do that listed in the description. Check out my new podcast. Check out my books and music. Does it just get louder in here? I don't know. Anyway, as always, I wish you love, laughter, lightheartedness, peaceful conflict resolution. Don't forget to play every day and drive forward.